Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Let's learn computer science.
Today we are going to learn about hardware that supports internet, including modem, PSTN, dedicated lines, and cellular network. Syllabus reference for ASCENT A9618, it is mentioned to describe the hardware that is used to support the internet, including modems, PSTN, dedicated lines, and cell phone network. So we'll cover all these topics today. So let's start. Hardware that supports the internet. We'll first learn about modem. So modem, as the name implies, it is modulator, demodulator, right? Basically, when we look at the data transfer via telephone lines, so voice is an analog data form, right? However, our computers, they only understand digital form of the data. So there is a requirement, there is a need of some device which can convert this analog form of data into digital form of data and vice versa, from digital to analog again during the transmission. So here comes the role of a modem, which is also known as modulator, demodulator. So modems are the devices that modulates and demodulates signals for data transmission. They allow a device to connect to the internet via a telephone line, right? So to understand it in a better way, I have put some pointers here. So when a transmitter is ready to transmit some data, it uses a modem to convert digital data to analog data, and then they are sent down across the telephone lines. However, when a receiver uses a modem on the other end, it converts the analog signal to digital signals so that the receiving device can understand the data. So both the functions are there, firstly converting from analog to digital and then digital to analog and so on. So basically these are used for dial-up connections, connecting computers to the internet via telephone lines, right? So I hope the meaning is clear for modem. So modem is required to convert digital data to analog, analog to digital, right? Now, next is that we in homes we do not see any thing other than a router, right? That is because these days the modems and routers, they are combined together into a single device, right? Which is called a modem router or a gateway. And these are provided by the ISPs. So what is the difference between modem and router? I have put all these differences in the form of a table here. So modem, basically, they convert digital data from your network to a format suitable for the transmission over the ISP network. However, routers, they direct and manages network traffic between the devices within a local network. Connection, when it comes to connection, modem connects your local network to the internet service provider's network, and router, it connects multiple devices within a local network to facilitate the communication amongst them. Transmission medium, this is basically depending upon the type of the network connection. It can be cable, DSL, fiber optic, anything. However, in routers, we generally do not know what type of transmission medium is used. Then responsibility handles modulation and demodulation of signals for data transmission over the ISP's network. And here router, it manages internal network connectivity and directs data traffic. So packets are transferred on their individual routes. So router defines the route for each and every individual packet which is transferred over the network. Internet access essential for the modem for establishing the connection to the internet, and router essential for managing network connectivity and providing access to the internet, right? So both are essential. Features, modems are typically limited to the data transmission capabilities, and routers, they provide additional features like Wi-Fi connectivity, network security, and management. Examples for modems are cable modems, DSL modems, fiber optics modem. And for router, we have wireless routers and wired routers, along with dual band routers and mesh routers. So these are basic differences. However, this topic is not specifically mentioned in your syllabus. This is just for your understanding, right? You can skip it if you don't want to go through the details. Right. Now, next is PSTN. PSTN is public switched telephone network, and it refers to the traditional telephone system, that we used to use, landline systems that we used to use. Even these days, some people, they prefer public switched telephone network, even though they are using mobile networks. So PSTN basically refers to the traditional telephone system where circuit switching technology is used. Now, what is circuit switching technology? Here, a connection is established first, then it stays in the connection till the time transmission is happening. No one else can use that connection, that line, until unless both the parties, they do not hang up. So firstly, connection is established, then it is used, and then it is disconnected, right? So throughout the time, this connection will be used by both the parties and is not available to anyone else, right? So that is what PSTN is all about. So let's go through some main pointers about PSTN. So PSTN, they are used between two endpoints for the call duration, and circuit switching technology is used, which I have just explained. Lines stay active even during power outage, and it is bi-directional communication. So both parties can send data back and forth. It encompasses the infrastructure of telephone lines, switches, and other network equipment. Here on PSTN, you can send voice and data both. Using mostly copper wires are used for PSTN. While the internet has evolved beyond relying heavily on PSTN, it still plays a role in providing connectivity. As I said, that still people, they find it, reliable communication medium. So that's the PSTN. Now, dedicated lines. Dedicated lines, basically, they are most commonly known as leased lines, right? Or dedicated circuits. They are direct telecommunication path between two endpoints. So ISP will provide internet connection and will provide a direct leased line to your premises or to the organization, whosoever is taking connection from the ISP. So via dedicated line, there is a leased direct connection and to your endpoint, and it is not shared with multiple users, right? So it is bought, leased, and is able to host websites as well as carry phone calls. It allows continuous uninterrupted access to the web. And these lines, they offer exclusive use and dedicated bandwidth, ensuring reliable and secure data communication. Basically, these are used by organizations to connect to the internet and establish private networks and facilitate point-to-point communication. right? So these are consistent and high quality data transmission. These are used for consistent and high quality data transmission, right? Now, last but not least, we have cellular network. So as the name implies, it's also known as cell phone networks as well. And these are wireless communication system, and it enables mobile devices to connect to the internet and other devices and other networks, right? So let's have a look at the main characteristics of cellular network. So majorly, the main point is it is wireless, right? And it is spread over land areas divided into hexagonal cells. That is why the name cell phone. So there are hexagonal cells, and the areas they are divided into these cells, and each cell is served by at least one base station, which is also known as transceiver, which uses a different frequency range and as compared to adjacent cells. So no two adjacent cells can work on the similar frequency. However, non adjacent cells, they can use same frequencies, right? So that is why larger capacity is possible, since same frequency can be used in non-adjacent cells. So radio waves are basically majorly used for their transmission and can be broadcast in all directions. Portable transceiver, example mobile phones, are able to communicate and access internet via base stations, and they utilize network of cell towers and base stations to provide coverage over specific areas, right? We all are using mobile phones. We know that we connect to the cell phone towers and base stations in order to communicate with other people, right? There are different generations of cellular technology, like 2G, 3G, 1G, 4G, 5G. Now 5G is also there, right? Cell phone networks, they allow mobile internet access and communication through smartphones and other mobile devices. So that's all about today's topic, that is hardware that supports internet, including modem PSTN, dedicated lines, and cellular network. So thank you.